I feel like there is a very interesting conversation we should have talking about sustainability in space, that is outer space. And it is completely dependent on this very interesting syndrome I read about a few weeks ago. It is called the Kessler Syndrome. And Kessler Syndrome simply says that if there is some sort of incident in the atmosphere around us where there are satellites orbiting and there is a lot of space debris, if there is some sort
Oh, okay.
of
Everything's gonna fall.
right. Basically, if there is an interaction where two satellites hit each other, there is going to be a bunch of space debris that comes out of it. That debris is going to start hitting other objects, and it is going to exponentially increase the amount of debris in space. And this is something which I felt was a theoretical concept years ago, but now with the increase in the uh, SpaceX satellites, they're already affecting photography, outer space photography. You can see that traces come into all of these parts. But with the drastic increase in satellites, the Kessler syndrome is no longer a theoretical concept. This is something that could be an eventuality. So if this is something that happens, there is going to be a lot of debris and most of it is going to fall on us. So
So
that is not
there,
sustainable.
that is definitely not sustainable. But I think the same concept goes on the aircraft as well. Like when you're designing a system or when you're trying to do any kind of like manufacturing operations or something like that. I mean, back in the day, it used to be just handwritten processes going around, cascading. Like, if the person A has not done the job, the person B will not start his job, sort of a thing. So it used to be always end to end working, models that used to be there. I think the space operations are also kind of like that, where if they find like a separation spot in the orbit, in like Leo orbits or anything like that, they will just insert like a satellite without understanding. So things like that are happening, and I guess like this is something which is coming back to haunt us now, where now that we didn't have any processes on how the satellites were put in, or maybe there is. Maybe I am not educated enough to know that. Maybe somebody can correct me if there is or there is not. But it's the same policy that is now repeating again in the space as well.
More than the satellite falling on us, most likely it'll burn up before it hits us, at least to
Depends
some
upon
extent.
depends upon the size of the
I'd
satellite,
be,
right?
yeah, but still, like, it'll first break into bits before once the debris hits. But I'd be more worried about the infrastructure itself because we're largely dependent on the satellites itself. And if they start breaking, like most of our current infrastructure will fall. So we need a way
Depends.
to
Depends in which orbit. So the geo orbit is not
whichever
as.
orbit, debris will go everywhere.
No, but the debris will not go towards the geo orbit. Geo orbit is too far away from the Leo orbit or the Meo orbits, right? So, I mean, the most amount
Yeah,
of
but like,
concentration of satellites are in the Leo and the Meo orbit. So maybe your YouTube videos will not work for a week or so. But other than that, the major infrastructures will be online. So
No, but it's an
again,
interesting
yeah,
but
conversation to have.
it's an interesting concept. Yeah, it is still a thing.
I
It's still a problem.